I've always been a fan of Melania Trump. You know, as a fellow immigrant, she inspires me. Because I know that I can never become president of the United States, but if I work hard, I might become first lady. Like, oh, thank you, Donald. My life is a beautiful dream. So she's my role model, which is why today, Melania Trump is in my thoughts.
First Lady Melania Trump is hospitalized tonight after undergoing a surgical procedure on her kidney. The White House saying the procedure was for a benign condition.
Yeah, she's staying an extra week. I feel like after a couple of hours, the doctor told her she could go home, and Melania was like, no, I should stay.
Melania's face said everything when Trevor Noah dropped his marriage bomb on Trump. That icy stare we've all seen. It just got 10 degrees colder after Noah's brutal takedown, comparing Trump's wall to the one between him and reality. When the former First Lady refuses to hold your hand on camera, comedians notice. But what made Melania really lose it wasn't just the jokes. It was how perfectly Noah captured what everyone's been thinking about the Trump's marriage. Stick around to see the moment that made even Trump supporters wince. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
And away, which probably means she wants a promotion first, right? If you do zoom in on that picture, there is something a little suspicious. And that is that they're holding hands. So on second thought, maybe.
The thing that got an enormous amount of media attention had to do with Melania Trump, the First Lady, and some video. Was this an actual slap, or did she just pull her hand away?
Ever wonder what makes a comedy bit so powerful it can practically melt the Ice Queen herself? Trevor Noah isn't your typical Trump critic. While most comedians go after the former president with sledgehammers and air horns, Noah's approach is more like precision surgery, quiet, methodical, and devastatingly effective. What sets Noah apart is his unique delivery style. Unlike the shouty, table-pounding approach of other late-night hosts, Noah maintains this eerily calm, almost polite tone that somehow makes his punchlines 10 times more lethal. It's like being stabbed with a butter knife.
You watch that, do you think maybe Melania is jealous? Maybe that's what this was about? Oh, now you want to hold hands, Donald? You sure you wouldn't rather be holding that orb? I remember when you used to touch me like the orb, Donald. Now on the next leg of Trump's trip, which took him to the Vatican, Trump's hands really couldn't catch a break, because this time, the First Lady gave him the old down low, too slow. And me and the orb was a one-time thing. The orb means nothing to me, means nothing. I was barely hard.
You don't even realize how deep it went until you're already bleeding out. The jokes that really got under Trump's skin weren't even about politics. Noah went straight for something way more personal. That weird, cold relationship with Melania that produces those awkward public moments we've all cringed at. Remember all those hand-swatting incidents? Noah didn't just point them out. He weaponized them. The audience reaction tells you everything. When Noah delivered his now famous line about the only wall Trump ever built was between him and reality, the room went dead silent before absolutely erupting. People weren't just laughing, they were doubled over, gasping for air, having those kinds of laugh spasms that make your stomach hurt the next day. Even the house band had to take a moment to collect themselves. But it was his Saudi Arabia orb joke that truly cemented his place in the Trump roasting Hall of Fame. Noah slipped into Melania's accent and delivered that killer line.
Roses are red, love is a mystery. I had a historic electoral college victory. Why did Trump say he called into Fox and Friends? Think he's not a very good husband. Also, I would pay anything to know what he wrote inside that card that he definitely didn't actually get. We're like, well, because it was Melania's birthday. Like, what does that mean? He's like, honey, I've got a great...
I remember when you used to touch me like the orb, Donald. Brutal, surgical, perfect, and somehow deeply revealing about their actual relationship. The beauty of Noah's comedy is that smooth, almost sympathetic tone he maintains throughout. He doesn't need to yell or flail around. He just calmly states what we're all thinking in a way that feels both fresh and deeply true. It's like he's reading a bedtime story that happens to completely eviscerate the former president's ego. Noah's bedtime story hit Trump hard, but it was Melania's glacial response that really exposed their marriage. When comedians go after political figures, their spouses typically jump to their defense with that "how dare you talk about my husband" energy. Not Melania. Her silence wasn't just deafening, it was absolutely devastating.
We've tried everything. Pull the plug. It's like, you're not on life support. I don't care. Just try it. See what happens. I should stay until you check everything out. I stay longer. I was like, okay, well, Miss First Lady, since we're keeping you longer, your husband is on his way to visit. Okay, pull the plug. What's wild about the story is, look at these two people. How is she the one with the health issue? How? I mean, Trump's blood type is KFC positive.
The First Lady has mastered that stone-cold poker face we've all seen at rallies and official functions. You know the one, that frozen smile that screams, "I'm thinking about my prenup," while standing 2 feet away from Donald. But when Noah's jokes hit too close to home, even her carefully constructed facade showed cracks. Instead of defending her husband from Noah's marriage zingers, Melania did something far more revealing. She issued a statement about LeBron James that specifically mentioned it had nothing to do with the president. Body language experts who've studied the Trumps noted this classic distancing technique. It's the political equivalent of changing the subject at Thanksgiving dinner when someone brings up Uncle Bob's drinking problem. Trump, predictably, couldn't let the comedy slide. While Melania maintained her icy distance, he launched into a Twitter tantrum, calling Noah failing and terrible. Nothing says "my marriage is completely solid" like rage tweeting about a comedian while your wife refuses to defend you. The irony was so thick you could spread it on toast. Trump's meltdown only validated everything Noah had joked about. The hand-swatting incident Noah highlighted became an internet sensation precisely because it felt so authentic. That moment when Melania yanked her hand away from Trump while descending Air Force One wasn't just awkward. It was a rare glimpse of raw truth in the carefully choreographed Trump world. Noah described it as Fox News not recognizing what rejection from a woman looks like, and even die-hard MAGA fans struggled to spin that one. What's truly fascinating is how Trump's responses to comedians like Noah create a perfect storm of mockery. The more he raged on Twitter, the more people shared those uncomfortable marriage moments, creating an endless loop of ridicule. For a man obsessed with controlling the narrative, comedy proved to be his kryptonite, something he couldn't intimidate, fire, or tweet into submission. What's really fascinating about this whole Trevor Noah versus Trump situation isn't just the jokes themselves, it's how comedy has become the kryptonite to Trump's Superman act. When Noah picked apart that marriage on stage, he didn't need insider information or secret recordings. He simply pointed out what we've all been seeing in those uncomfortable public appearances. Look at those recent events where Melania stands beside Donald, her body language practically screaming, "Get me out of here." Experts who analyze this stuff for a living say it shows major disconnection between them. No fancy detective work needed, just eyes and common sense. Turns out comedy isn't just funny, it's powerful. Studies show humor actually helps people remember and process political information better than serious news. That's why these jokes about the Trump marriage stick in our brains while policy speeches fade away. Noah didn't just make us laugh, he made us see the truth hiding in plain sight. And deep down, even Melania probably knows he nailed it.